Hi, welcome to SPR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is our daily pitching preview show that we do with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Right now we're looking at the pitching matchups for Sunday, May 31st. Joe Duffy, tell us what you do at OffshoreInsiders.com.
Well, now is a great time to jump on. I'm telling you, it's not really that much of a secret. If you buy their picks, you'll see there's no analysis. A lot of people literally or figuratively take off in this industry, not Joe Duffy's picks. That's why I've been picking underdogs and small favorites at win for go. It'll be my 27th anniversary on June the 1st with my picks being public.
All right,
so another great year.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, Dallas Keuchel and John Danks, this might be the definition of a starting pitching mismatch. The question is, what will the line be for this game? But, a complete game loss for Keuchel in his last start, but Houston's still 8-2 in his start so far this year, although his last 4 starts have been much more down to earth for him. But on the other side, John Danks, it's like, he's just getting hit hard with regularity, and it just feels like, Keuchel's worst start is an average start for Danks. Is this a no-brainer bet on Keuchel? The question is just where the line will be.
Houston, they've done very well. They're 25-14 in his starts since last year, and I think we've talked about it on our last few videos when Danks has pitched. I mean, Danks has been stanks. I mean, he's been completely awful, so it's really tough to really want to bet on him at this point. If anything, maybe expect him to put the game almost over the total himself before he's pulled. And as you said, Keuchel, maybe showing some signs of slowing down just a little bit. So I'd probably, if anything, maybe lean towards the over.
And then Julio Teheran and Madison Bumgarner, Atlanta at San Francisco. And Teheran was in an almost identical situation in his last start against Kershaw and the Dodgers, on the road against a top lefty and a big spread. And Teheran got absolutely crushed, bombed. The Dodgers' run lines were decided with value, whether you took 1.5, 2, 2.5, whatever. Teheran is up and down, but he seems kind of unreliable, and Bumgarner generally reliable and excellent. What do we expect from this pitching matchup, Joe?
And Bumgarner, I have to admit that I'm not a huge fan of month-by-month splits, but I will say over the last 2 years he's been tremendous in the month of May. Of course, this will be the last day of May, but he's 9-1 in his May decisions. And as you said, Teheran, he's been kind of that predictably unpredictable guy. He's been a box of chocolates, so I really would probably avoid him at this point, though. Then again, the box of chocolate guys, I generally like to bet them as an underdog and bet against them as a favorite. So probably a good opportunity to bet on him, if anything.
Really? So you lean towards betting on Teheran, despite how the last game against the Dodgers went and how reliable Bumgarner is or appears to be?
Yeah, what I said, with inconsistent pitchers or inconsistent teams, and this is great in basketball especially, I bet on those teams to be inconsistent. And what that means is if they're an underdog, they can be a high percentage play. So if anything, I would lean towards the inconsistency to continue, and it goes back to, when least expected. So that's, again, betting on inconsistent pitchers to be inconsistent means going with the underdog.
And then a tough one. You ready, Joe?
I'm ready.
Cleveland at Seattle, Danny Salazar and J.A. Happ. And J.A. Happ, not a mind-blowingly awesome pitcher, but he does appear to be developing some pretty significant home road splits. Much better at home for Seattle so far this year. And then the other side, Danny Salazar, a lot of talent. He's one of these guys who gets a ton of strikeouts, but doesn't necessarily put up goose eggs inning after inning, and he's now dealing with a blister issue that I've read about, and that is something that can linger and can be sort of an under-the-radar factor. And then you have Happ, who does so much better at home. Is there maybe a bigger starting pitching edge here for Seattle than it appears on paper? What do you think, Joe?
Well, remember, I'm not a big fan of those pitchers that strike out a lot but also give up a lot of runs.
Yeah.
I think people fall in love too much with the jugs gun, and I guess they figured that because they believe that is the type of pitcher that has an upside, that they love them. But I disagree. I think at this level, you got to be able to throw off speed pitches and mix it up, and that's really what J.A. Happ has done. That's why, he's probably a journeyman pitcher, but as you said, he's pitched better at Safeco Field. He also, in 3 career starts to Cleveland's got a 1.29 ERA, so I would say that, yes, Seattle does have the pitching advantage here.
And then Bartolo Colon, always a fun guy to discuss. Wasn't too bad in his last start, right? 6 innings pitched, 3 runs, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks. Is he regressing generally? I don't know. Will Miami be able to get to him? I don't know. Phelps on the other side is kind of the definition of serviceable. What do we expect from Bartolo Colon at home against Miami on Sunday, Joe?
He is regressing, and this is one that, truthfully, I'd probably look at to see what the game time temperature is expected to be, because you're talking about an older guy, and and again, I like older guys who are fat because I'm one of them. But the truth is, I can't pitch, and I think that Cologne is somebody who will probably be affected if it's going to be in the upper 80s to lower 90s. Might be a good fade position, because remember, this is obviously being played during the day. So I would say the higher the temperature, the more I would go against Cologne in this situation.
And let's finish it off with a tough one. Chris Tillman's going to be at home against Tampa Bay, and he was been getting crushed for most of the year. He did, though, have a good start at home against Houston in his last game, and I bet that he would get hit, and I lost with that one. But, it was a good start. 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, but still 7 innings and 2 runs. Now he's going to go against Tampa Bay, sort of an average lineup. What do we expect here from Tillman? Do we expect him to regress back and start to get crushed again, or another reasonable 7-inning start from it?
Probably to get crushed, and again, sometimes when we record this a little bit in advance, we don't have the exact pitching matchups, but it looks like it's going to be Jake Odorizzi, who's actually pitched pretty darn well. Has been the market consistency, 2.31 ERA in 66 and a third innings pitched. So Tampa Bay would have the pitching advantage there.
Okay, sounds good, Joe Duffy. That's it from Sunday, May 31st, that I wanted to get to. What would you like to bring to our attention in terms of factors for possible betting value on Sunday?
Well, for San Diego, Despaignet's pitched very well at Petco Park. He's got a 2.91 ERA in his career, and guys are hitting only 207 against him. So if you're looking for pitchers that seem to pitch well in a specific park, that would be the case with Despaigne.
All right, Joe, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you again very soon.